Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. One of the more recent videos that I've done, I've talked about how I finally got all of my jerseys in kind of one location. It's all at one location. I don't have a whole bunch sitting, at a different place. And I was going through some of them, and I said I was gonna have to wash a bunch of them because when you have jerseys that are sitting in a tote for a while, they can get a little musty. Kind of get that musty smell, and it's not a real good smell. And some of them were pretty dirty, and they had stains on them, and they came. I ran them all through a wash. They came out. I was impressed. I was really impressed. I was like, holy cow! They came clean. So, but in this, what I'd like to show you is the jerseys that started the jerseys that started it all. That started this obsession, or as some people would say, this obsession of jersey collecting, where I've always called it a hobby, but these are the ones that kind of started it. But before I get into that, again, I thank you guys for being here. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you enjoy the video. If you do, hit like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. I would love you guys. And especially, if you're new, don't be afraid to check out some of the other videos on the channel. And if you are, and if this is the first video of my channel that you've seen, little note, I talk hockey, anything hockey related. I will talk about jersey collecting, hockey news. I'll be doing a video soon, probably in another couple of weeks, season division previews, what team's gonna finish where in what division. So I'll probably do that in a couple of weeks. But yeah, if you guys are new, check out some of those videos, and don't be afraid to hit like and subscribe. That'd be awesome. Now, let's get into this. Now, this particular one, the first one that I got, we had just seen, because we used to get a hockey catalog. It was what was it called? Kemp's. And the crazy thing is, I remember this stuff. We used to get a hockey supply catalog. It was the Kemp's Hockey Supply Catalog, and they had, they'd sell helmets, sticks, the breezers, basically most of the entire all hockey equipment. Well, they also started selling replica hockey jerseys. Now, this was the first place that I had ever seen that sold, that actually sold jersey. You never really saw them in the sports stores. At least I didn't. And I would look through. I would look through all the jerseys, and they'd have home and away. They'd have the home and away jerseys, and they'd have all of them, all 20. I think when we first started getting them, I think there was 20. There was still 20 teams. And I didn't start really collecting until 92, and that's when the NHL went from that's when they went to 24 teams. But I was looking through this catalog, and I'm like, God, I'd love to have one of those. I really would. And it was, and I would ask my mom, because I was looking through these, and Tampa and Ottawa were the two expansion teams at the time. And I'm like, God, I wouldn't mind having that. And I'm like, what would I want first? Because my birthday was about 2 months away, probably from during that time. So I go and I ask her, I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get that one. And that one, now mind you, this is 30 years old. I gotta tell you, for a 30-year-old jersey, it's held up pretty nice, and there's a reason why I'm wearing this. It is. Look at this bad boy. The Tampa Bay Lightning. This was the one that I got from their expansion team. Now look at the difference in the logos. Big difference in how they did the logos then. Even compared this one I've had for a long time too. I've had this one since I think the early 2000s is when I got this one. I mean, the blue is a little bit of a different color than on here. The logo especially, I mean, it's all, it's not that sparkly silver material. It kind of shines a little bit, but it's thread. And of course, they didn't put the CCM tags in here yet. They would later. So, you had this one. Now, as you can tell, I was a little smaller back in 1992. And also, you can tell, it's had, that's how they used to do the CCM logos. They used to just kind of screen print them on. But this is the one that started it all. This was the first one that really started the collection. Now this one, we've been waiting for it. And my birthday kind of came and went, and this hadn't shown up yet. Well, it's 2 days after my birthday, and I remember we're in gym class, and we were playing wiffle ball in the hockey arena, where it didn't have ice at the time, obviously. But me and one of my other classmates, we kind of ran into each other and we whacked knees. Well, my knee completely gave way. Turns out, I completely, tore my knee all to hell. So we're in the, my mom's having to come pick me up from school. We're having to go to the hospital, all that, get x-rays, all that. My knee is like 3 times the size. It was hurting so much. But we finally get home, and there's a package waiting there, and I'm not sure what it is, and I'm like, what is that? As I'm in this full leg immobilizer on crutches, getting in, trying to sit down with one leg in a complete immobilizer, and we get this package, and I go and I open it up, and here's this. 2 days after my birthday, I blow my knee in gym class at school. I come home, and this was here, and this was waiting for me. So if there was anything that really kind of what would I say, made me feel a little bit better, it was getting this. This was the first jersey that I ever got, and yeah, it's so neat. And of course, it's smaller. And again, there's a spot that didn't quite come out. Not sure exactly what that is, but yeah, this is a 30-year-old jersey, and you got the logo there. So it's obviously not as white as as like, say, this one is. But again, it's 30 years old. So this was the one that really started it. Well, then I wanted, and then this is what kind of got me going on wanting to get jerseys for my birthday and Christmas. The other one that I got this one for Christmas as I'm rehabbing my knee after having knee surgery. I went and, because when I saw this one, I was like, I really like that one. I was a big fan. I was a big fan of the way it looked, and I was so glad when I finally got this one. And this one, again, this is 30 years old. This, of course, the Ottawa Senators. You know, and we know they kind of went back. They went back to this look. The only difference, really, between the Senators then and like the Senators now, like if I grab my Senators jersey here, oof, come on, get out of there. There we go. Now, I mean, you look at the way the logo is there, comparison to that one. Now, obviously, look at the size difference, obviously, but it's a little bit different. This one, they had the little design there. They had that on the helmet, and going down here, there's the team name, the Ottawa Senators. Where, of course, now it's a little different. They have that going down there, and there's nothing here. But you know, and of course this, obviously, this is a smaller one too. And again, you know, as you can see how old it is. And just the fact that, I mean, 30 years. These are 30 years old, these jerseys. And it's just, it's incredible. And the fact that they've held up, and this is another reason why I really would like CCM to get the contract back. These are CCM jerseys. These two are 30 years old. Look how well they've hung up for 30 years. I mean, just incredible. And I mean, it's so neat. And I'm so glad that not only did I still have these, obviously, but I found them, and I ran them through a wash. I mean, I ran them through a wash with a whole bunch of the other ones. And as you can see, even through a wash, 30 years, they still hold up and they still look really, really nice. And they had, now see, it's interesting. Like this one, obviously you have the little design there. You have the little fabric insert underneath the arm there with Tampa for the little design there. Ottawa's, you don't have that. Now, the little fabric insert, let's see, they didn't even have the fabric insert on this one. And this was early 2000s. They would finally start doing that, doing the little inserts underneath the arms. It kind of, I think it makes them a little more breathable, maybe a little bit. But they would start doing that later on, or in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, I think is when they started doing that for all the teams. And so, you know, and again, you know, I mean, this one doesn't even have it. And it's interesting that they did that. They did that one. They did the little design under here, but then eventually a few years later, when I got this one, they went away. They did away with it. They don't have it on there on this one. Obviously, they brought it back for the reverse retro. Now, again, I would love to see Tampa go back to this. And again, I can show the difference in the logo size. I mean, even the threading color too. This is a darker blue than this one. And I mean the neck is a little lighter blue here. And the sleeve. The sleeve actually is almost the same color. Is pretty close. But yeah. So those are the two jerseys that started it all. That started what has morphed in to this, to the ones I have back there, the ones that are behind this. Those are the two that started it all. And like I said, I come home after blowing my knee out in gym class, and there's my first ever hockey jersey is waiting there for me. I'm on one leg, on crutches, and that's waiting there for me. So I mean, if there was any way that would have made the day a little bit better, I mean, obviously, you blow your knee out in gym class, it's a crappy day. Getting that jersey, it made the day a lot better. It was so awesome. And one of the first things I did, sitting down, I went and I put it on. And ever since then, I would always ask, my mom, God rest her soul. After that, it was always when I started, because that's when I was like, I like a lot of these. I'd like to get more. I got the first two, especially the first one. I'm like, I wouldn't mind getting Ottawas. And then I started, God, I'd like to get some more of these. And it just, kind of went from there. But she would always ask me around birthday time and Christmas time, all right, which one do you need? Which one are you looking at? She's like, what one are you looking at? And so that was the thing. It was, she'd always get, now sometimes it'd be sometimes she'd throw wrinkles in, especially if I'm looking for a particular team. She'd throw a wrinkle or two in there saying, yeah, they didn't have it. They didn't have it in this size and this, that, and the other. And it's like, and I'd be like, crap. And then, of course, come to find out, no, they did. And she ordered it. And so, yeah, that started, every birthday and every Christmas then I would try to get one. So, I mean, that's 2 a year. And it took a long time to get to all of the teams, but that's kind of what started it. So, what do you guys think of that? Do some of you guys still have, do some of you guys still have the very first jerseys that you ever got? I'd love to know that. I'd love to know if you guys have some jerseys that you've had for a long time, and that might have kickstarted your collection. And do some of you have jerseys that are that old? I mean, 30 years. I mean, that's 1992. I was a freshman in high school. My freshman year in high school. And yes, I'm totally dating myself. But, yeah, freshman year in high school. 30 years old. Just insane. Absolutely insane. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you guys like them? And what are some of the oldest jerseys that you guys have? I'd love to know. Do you guys still have them? Have you, gave them away, sold them? I'd love to know. And again, if you were just popping around the internet, you happen to find my channel. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't be afraid to check out some of the other videos on the channel. And yeah, and especially for new people, let me know. Let me know some of your, what's the oldest jerseys that you guys have in your collections? What are the ones that sparked your guys' collections? If you've turned into a jersey collector, I'd love to know. Again, don't be afraid to hit like and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. It definitely helps the algorithm on YouTube to help get the channel out there, and where I can get more eyes on it. And again, let me know what you guys think. What are some of the oldest jerseys that you guys have? Have you guys started collecting because of a particular jersey you got? I'd love to know. Again, hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And I'll see you guys again soon.